So Kumi is speaking with some of the MPs to pick their reactions. I'll come back to you guys in a bit.
Is in the results that we have seen. A situation where he would have admitted to the failure of his governance, the huge levels of corruption, and the fact that Ghanaians could no longer be confident in the kind of administration he led. I expected him to admit all this. And to admit,
but he did make some admissions. Example, on the debt exchange, he said yes, he understands the impact on Ghanaians, but it was a difficult, necessary decision that he had to take.
But he failed in admitting the fact that the banking sector had been disrupted by him, and that he did not leave a strong economy as he accepted, as he contrary presented. I mean, he should have presented a true reflection of the true situation of the Ghanaian right now. And at least in the end, he could ask for forgiveness for the many failures he has recorded. And the debt exchange is a very small aspect of the many, many challenges he faced. And so I would have wished that he came to that realization, that level of realization that it is time to tell the truth about himself and the economy. And to admit also that with everything that happened, the true reflection of it is in the Ghanaian. And the Ghanaian people, the Ghanaian person is having a challenge about even the education he's talking about, taking their children to school, paying school fees, ensuring that we have good roads. Everything seemed to have collapsed completely. And I thought that this was an occasion for him to have come very clean, to say that, look, we aim at getting to this point, we failed. We aim at building 111 hospitals for you, we failed. We aim at making the economy strong for you, we failed.
Is it a failure if the president aims at building 111 hospitals and by the time he's exiting, he has commissioned 3? He says the others are at various levels of completion, and he expects President Mahama-elect, when he's sworn into office, to complete these processes. Government is a continuum, isn't it?
We are taking him to his word. He said that he was going to finish this 111 hospital before he leaves office. He has not done that. And you did only 3. I mean, it's just a big eyesore. And if you look at that and look at the totality of his commitment to work, he talked about roads, 12,000 kilometers of roads, which I believe is not the truth. He's talking about everything about what he said can be diagnosed and found not to be the case at all. And I think that is not a true reflection of the present situation we face. And I think that the history is going to come, and history is not going to judge him fairly, because even in a situation when he had the opportunity to tell the truth about the economy, about himself, about the people of Ghana, about the failure in the factories he said he will build, about the dams he failed to build, about the 350 secondary schools he failed to provide, he is telling us he's leaving behind a strong economy. I don't know where that strength economy is coming from.
All right. Thank you very much, Honorable Rashid Pelpuo. He is the Member of Parliament for West Central. I see my own Member of Parliament, MP for Medina, the Honorable Xavier Sosu. Good to see you, Honorable. The President just delivered his final State of the Nation. First of all, your first impressions of the President's speech?
Well, I think that the speech was a genuinely good speech, but I think it was uninspiring. It was uninspiring because I thought, being the last speech and knowing the sentiment of Ghanaians about his government, he can make some moderate concessions where he knows that things have not really gone well. But it seems that the president was still on his high horse, still asserting that he's living a Ghana that is working. We all know he's not. He's living, he inherited a doomsaw and living without doomsaw. You know, that's not absolutely correct. You know that when you came, unemployment was around 8%. The unemployment rate is 14.7%. You know, I mean, the CD to a dollar rate was about, I think, about 4 or 3.8 to like $1. And today,
But the president did attribute some of these things to global shocks. I mean, we know about the COVID pandemic. It was heavily in his speech. Even the Ukraine-Russia war, those things must have had some impact on the Ghanaian economy, right?
I perfectly agree. I mean, and I agree. We would be very disingenuous to say that such external shocks won't affect us. But it's also important that, you see, as a leader or as a young leader, I believe that it is not wrong at all to make, humble admissions where things have not gone right. And once you take responsibility of your inaction in aspect of your governance, it is so easy to then, rise above those inactions and then take action. Then you can then charge us and say that, look, this was where we got it wrong, and trust or maybe charge the new administration to pay a closer attention to those areas. But when you make it look like it's still all rosy and there are no challenges, the verdict at the polls is contrary to what we are telling the people. And so I think that was very much what I saw about it. And then I recall he said that when it comes to the constitutional review, we should hasten slowly. I disagree with that. I disagree with that because I think that our constitution really needs a review. And President Mahama has made commitment to that. In fact, President Mills began a constitutional review commission that made several recommendations. I believe that President Mahama is going to carry out this constitutional reviews, and we shouldn't be scared at all to move forward to change our political system by way of changing our constitution. And that is what I really believe.
Finally, before you go, what do you make of the president's human rights record? You're a human rights lawyer.
Well, I don't think that the president has done really great when it comes to human rights also. Run up to the general election, you saw a number of violent demonstrations. I mean, they were peaceful demonstrations that turned violent. We saw how the people of the Democracy Hub were treated when they were protesting. I mean, I thought his administration was very repressive when it came to free speech. It was very repressive towards the right to protest. And you recall that even when we passed the death penalty bill, he signed the main bill, but he refused to sign the Armed Forces bill. I mean, the bill that amended the penalty in the Armed Forces. Also, when it comes to protection of women, the witchcraft bill or the bill that criminalized witchcraft accusation in protection of elderly women, he failed to sign that one too. So clearly, the president hasn't really demonstrated that he is indeed somebody who is committed to human rights to the extent that he was not committed to these pieces of legislation. I believe that he still has time to sign the Armed Forces amendment that abolished the penalty for the Ghana Armed Forces, particularly because he is the commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces. And then also, as we speak now, there are 187 people on death row. He has a golden opportunity to commit all their death sentences to life, and I believe that he can still do that before he go as president.
Thank you very much. The Member of Parliament for Medina, the Honorable Xavier Sosu. I see the Member of Parliament for Bole Bamboy, the Honorable Sulemana Yussif. Hello, Honorable Yussif. Hello, ChannelOne TV. Can you please give us a moment? I'm taking him away from you. Thank you very much. It's good to see you, sir. The President just delivered his final State of the Nation's address. You have been a staunch critic of this President. Are you impressed with what you heard?
Let me say that it's sad to say this. We all listened to him. One would have thought that he would use the opportunity to apologize to Ghanaians, because there were so many things that he didn't get right. And for him to have such a platform, I was of the view that he would have apologized to Ghanaians, especially the latter part of his administration, where he showed a lot of, if you like, arrogance towards our traditional rulers. Okay? And many descending Ghanaians took him on. If I were in his shoes...
Is that arrogance if the president is seeking to exert state authority?
By our culture, you don't use your left-hand side to, as it were, signal a very prominent person like a chief to stand up, just to honor you.
But a chief standing up to honor the president is not wrong, is it?
That's even debatable. If you ask me, when he was campaigning to be a president, lying before them, okay, knowing very well that he wanted to be a president. When he became a president, for the first term, the way he behaved towards chiefs the first 4 years, that was not what we saw in the last 4 years. So what has changed? So for me, he missed it. Again, this is a man who promised God that he was going to build a cathedral. If you have failed, I mean, be honest with Ghanaians and give us reasons why you have failed in doing it. You have sunk this hole there, you have spent so much money there, and you don't want to talk about it. So what's the way forward? If I were in his shoes, this would have been the platform for me to say that, yes, we have started building this cathedral, yes, we have not been able to do it, but I propose that going forward, this is how we should go about it. Now he's leaving office. What is he asking us to do about the cathedral? I mean, these are some of the things that I thought the president would have said. But talking about the economy, revamping, and all of that, we leave that to Ghanaians to judge. If you ask me today, go to the market and see what is happening there. Okay? That is what we should be telling our people. We should be telling Ghanaians how they feel, and if it means apologizing to them, we apologize to them as a people, and then we move on. So for me, he lost it, he got it wrong. He should have apologized to Ghanaians, if not for anything. The cathedral he promised Ghanaians. The cathedral he promised God. If he can deceive God, my brother, who else can you deceive?
But surely there must be something, at least one thing that this president got right.
Oh, one thing he got right is that whether he likes or not, by law, he was supposed to be here to deliver the State of Nation address.
This is the only thing this president did in the 8 years of his administration?
No. If you want me to assess his 8 years of administration, why not? He's done certain things that we need to appreciate. Okay? But if you want to grade him, if you want to weigh his good things against his bad things, I can tell you that this is the president that is going to go on record as being the president that has performed abysmally.
He instituted free senior high school. At least he says that he's leaving the country intact and safe. That should be some positive, right?
Now, did he receive the country with any insecurity? He didn't. So what is he talking about? If he had inherited a country with insecurity, and now you leave the country with, security intact, then you can say that you have achieved something. But you inherited a country, the security situation was perfect, it was very good, and now if you hand it over the same way, why do you have to applaud yourself? You know, when he was doing his analysis, he was comparing, okay? He would compare his economic performance and whatever with 2016 records. Now, when he got to issues of security and all of that, did he see him compare that? Okay, he was just being selective and trying to praise himself. This is not the time to praise him. He should let Ghanaians praise him. And Ghanaians have already praised him. The Ghanaians have told him that you have performed abysmally, and for that matter, your party, your candidate should go and rest. That's the judgment.
On the economy, he says the economy is rebounding, with growth expected to be 4.3% this year. Is this some positive news?
So
are you seeing signs that the economy is rebounding?
Expectations, okay? He's projecting, all right? We are talking about what it is today. Are you fine economically? Are you comfortable? If you are, then you can say that he has done well. If you are not, then again, you know the story to tell. That's what I said, that if you want to assess his performance, go to the market, go onto the streets, and then Ghanaians will tell you how they feel about his performance. In most cases, you see, our presidents and our leaders shouldn't come and tell us what they think is the case. They should listen to the people on the ground, and the people will tell them. That's how it's supposed to be.
I see the President Akufo. We can cut. Hello, sir. It's good to see you. You're looking good.
Yes.
So that former President Akufo shaking hands with the MP for Bole Bamboy, the Honorable Mustafa Yussif, the former president, engaging with some of the members of Parliament. They're currently having conversations among themselves.
Okay. So happy New Year to all of you. Thank you.
So we're still here trying to get some conversations with some of the members of Parliament. I see the MP for Tamale Central, Murtala Mohammed, engaging other members of the press. This has been the final presentation of the president.